The Acting Inspector General of Police, Olukayode Egbetokun, has ordered the review of police training programs and curriculum with a focus on attitudinal and behavioral changes in police officers. This, he notes, is to enhance professionalism, effectiveness, and public trust in law enforcement personnel in the country. The police boss, in a statement by the Force Public Relations Officer Olumuyiwa Adejobi, said that the focus would also be on the physical and technical fitness of personnel. Egbetokun also said that the review of the curriculum was to ensure that law enforcement imbibed the required physical strength, technical proficiency, mental alertness, high standard of ethical conduct, empathy, and effective communication. Well, Arise analyst Mr. Dayo Sobowale joins us now to discuss the review of the police training curriculum to focus on rights protection and what the organization should pay attention to. It's a pleasure to have you on the show, Mr. Sobowale. Thank you for being here.
It's a pleasure of being here as usual.
So this looks like an interesting development, from the Inspector of Police himself, talking about this review that has to be done. And it's looking like it's going to affect multiple aspects of policing. Do you believe that this is a good initiative? And what exactly should attention be paid to?
Well, it is even more than a good initiative, especially after the gutsy experience of the protest.
Yes.
And the fact that the IG had to address the nation like a head of state in his own right and take questions and explain what happened during the protest. I think it's a step in the right direction. But you see, it's talking of technical efficiency, attitudinal change, attitudinal response. All those are things expected of any police force. But first and foremost, I think you should try and do some house cleaning in terms of the image of the Nigerian police. You have to do some house cleaning. If you go around, you still see some policemen in mufti stopping you at junctions, carrying guns, threatening. And I think about a month or two ago, on the eve of this protest, some journalists were arrested and detained.
Yeah.
See, some journalists have not gotten over that, and they are still railing at him. But luckily for this IG, they were able to contain the protest. And in fairness to him, when they said some people were shot, he said they did not give live ammunition. So I think it's a professional step that he is taking.
Yeah.
And he must have seen what is on the ground. Like a general once said to his people, said, we have seen the enemy, and the enemy is us. So it's welcome to what he's up to, and I hope he succeeds.
Well, indeed, I think we all hope they succeed, Mr. Sobowale.
Yeah.
I really appreciate the fact that you said house cleaning needs to happen before any other thing. But if that advice is taken and the steps are made for this to become effective, what would you like to see in terms of benchmarks or metrics to measure the success of this new curriculum in improving rights protection?
You can't measure the curriculum the success of the curriculum you have not started.
No, what I'm saying is that if they...
No, let's discuss the curriculum.
Okay.
Let's discuss the curriculum. You see, I take it from a perspective of trust and integrity. The police, the public must trust the police.
Yeah.
And the police must put the public in a mood to obey the law, you get me, and not catch them, and not only concentrate on catching them committing crime. So there must be mutual trust and respect between the public and the police. That is a task for him to do. Technical efficiency, training, physical fitness, public relations, all those are good. But police too must lead by example. You see, I read the paper somewhere, you see, that most policemen, they think they are above the law. You get me? You are not supposed to drive with your phone. They do that. They drive against traffic. They drive too fast. They park in wrong places. They go to the banks and block the road and all. Those are things that, make the public hostile to police and not give them respect. They deserve respect. because they provide security for us. If not for them, we will not be doing all what we are doing.
Yeah.
And they are necessary in the democracy for the rule of law. But they are not above the law. And then again, see, if I use my banking experience, you see, in banks, the manager, the leader, is asked to monitor the lifestyle of those working with you. You know their salaries, you know their fringe benefits. You know, if they start putting on designer suits and some things, and a messenger brings in a motorcycle or a small car and parks it from a distance, those are things that show that corruption is setting or that some fraud is being done. The police should put its own house in order first. You get me? Because if they do not do that, they'll be open to bribe. They'll be open to inducement and all that. And the image of the police is not that good in terms of corruption. People go to the police in the hope or in the belief that they have to give something. But I don't think it's that generic because there are still honest people in the police force. But you see, in terms of training, the training for professional efficiency is okay. The attitudinal behavior, speed of response, all those are okay. But integrity too matters.
Yeah.
Integrity and the culture of integrity and a perception to be seen as not being above the law, these are things that are necessary. And I hope we adopt them. Yes.
I hope so too. There's something that you've mentioned, talking about public trust and being able to build that, because the trust between law enforcement and the community in Nigeria has really been significant. So if we look at this revised, training or curriculum that officers are supposed to kind of use to help rebuild trust, how exactly is that going to work, especially in communities that historically already have strained relations with the police, one, and two, about sustaining the reforms, given the short tenure of police leadership in Nigeria, what measures should be put in place to ensure that these reforms are sustained even beyond this current administration? Now,
you mentioned the short tenure of police leadership. That has been corrected. The House has just corrected it, that the tenure of the IG, you get me, will be what is written on his paper, on his letter of appointment, not retirement age and all that. So that one has been corrected. But you see, in terms of leadership, personality of the leader matters. Training of the leader matters. If you have somebody who grew through the ranks, you get me, and did not have much training himself, it will reflect. But I think this IG has substantive training. And it's like a modern IG. He's talking of attitudinal and training needs now, but he knows that digital training too, digital training in this era of cyber security and in this level of election interference through big technologies and all that. So he knows his people should be trained in that. Yeah. And he should sustain that. And maybe I should just recall something. I remember a time I went to the police force at Moloni. That was a time when, I don't want to mention the IGDM, but it was a quasi-military police force there. And there was a poster there that if you don't like the police, go and call a thug. But that was during military era. Yeah. The slogan should be that the police is your friend.
Maybe we need to switch up that slogan a bit, because that police is your friend doesn't necessarily work for Nigerians anymore.
You want to go and call it thug?
No. We'll come up with something new.
You see, it's an attitudinal issue. Yeah. Like he rightly said. Let them make it known to their staff that when they go out, they represent the police. And the public is not their enemy. Yes. They are meant to lead and correct the public in a humane manner. Definitely. And I think they learn their lesson from answers. You get me? And I hope the image from the NSAS episode is being redeemed. Yeah. It's being redeemed. Although some of them were so frightened, I have friends amongst them who almost left the police force and said that because they felt they were not well treated by government in reaction to that NSAS thing. But now they are getting their confidence back. And this IG is helping them. So they need to reposition their image and reposition their sense of duty and responsibility to get the trust of the Nigerian public.
Thank you so much, Mr. Sobowale. Sam, we need to find a way to include that once we end this segment. Sam. Yes.